Jagged. Often people feel that they need a lot of guidance and teaching in order to go deep in the spiritual journey, when the reality is, in most cases, the more you study, the more you hear, the more techniques that you become inundated with, the more lost people become on their spiritual journey. Growth is extremely simple, and the path is the clearest thing that exists. The moment you awake, part of the awakening is that you notice that you notice. You become aware that you're aware. You start to see that you're getting angry, whereas before you noticed that you're through being angry. And you see the great results of your anger. Now you start to notice that you're getting angry. It starts as a disturbance. You start feeling this uneasiness, this energy change inside of you. And you start feeling your mind get more active and your heart start to get a little tight. Who notices these things? The root of all spirituality is in the awareness that it is you who notices. Spirituality is not about not getting angry. Spirituality is about being aware that you are getting angry. The rest will take care of itself. If you see spirituality as making something of yourself that looks like you read it in a book, or that you saw a picture this way, or you saw somebody else be a certain way, and you say, I want to be like that, and I'm supposed to be like that, you'll be here a very, very long time. In truth, none of the great masters taught that as a path. Every great teacher of yoga taught witness consciousness, objective observation, awareness. If you try to remake yourself, you will be here a long time. There are tendencies, urges, drives, karmic conditions that cause these changes to go on inside of you. If what you try to do is remake that, rebuild that, you must work through all your karma. You must go down and go through every situation. It's an extremely tedious and long process. Instead, you just be aware that it's not you. The anger starts to come up and you click into the state of awareness, anger. You don't say it in your mind. The self, the consciousness, the Atman, the witness, just sees the beginning of anger. That is the end of it. If you are able to maintain that awareness, you will find that anger cannot overcome you. In order for anger to take over you and do its thing through you, you cannot be there. It has to be the energy that is predominant. If you remain centered and conscious, and you see your heart start to beat faster, you see your stomach get butterflies, you see your mind start to say all kinds of things, and so on and so forth, if you can remain in that state, the anger and all of its energy will in truth help you. Because as long as you remain conscious, all energies get pulled to you. Now this is not just anger. Spiritual growth is about remaining aware every second of every moment of every day in every single situation. You just watch what's going on. You'll walk into a situation and you'll want to impress somebody, and because you have respect for that person, or you think that you want them to like you, or you're attracted to them, whatever it is, you just find yourself in that age-old situation of there's a person out there and here you are in here and you're scared. And you just start to feel that uneasiness, and you start to wonder what you should say or why you said that, or whatever the self-consciousness and nervousness and insecurity starts to go on inside. I don't know how long you've been at it, but you're going to find that you can't stop that. That is the nature of ego. As long as ego exists, it will compare itself, want things create weird situations which cause uneasiness inside. And insecurity and fear of failure and desire to impress others or not to fail in the eyes of others is like a core in the ego. This fear of rejection, of loss, is the nature of ego. You have to let a snake be a snake, a cloud be a cloud. You let each thing be what it is. And ego has its nature. The key is not to try to get rid of that. What matters is that you watched this happen inside of you. You saw yourself get into a situation where you want to impress somebody. You saw yourself act just like that child did 10, 20 years ago. Same feeling comes up inside of you. Same nervousness, same uneasiness, same fear. All right? And you watch. You just be willing to be aware without touching. That state is the state of the self. It doesn't matter then that this other thing happened because you didn't buy into it. And you will find that it passes. And if you're able to let these things come up and pass through you without doing anything about them, that's the whole key. You didn't go out there and say something because you were trying to impress somebody. You didn't not say something because you're afraid that you'll look stupid. You just watched that person that would have done either come up inside of you. Over time, it will come and go like the weather. There will be times when you feel strong and clear, and there will be times where you're fearful or insecure. So what? There are times when it rains. There are times when the sun comes out. You don't have to, in order to be happy, try to make all the rain go away. You just have to be yourself in the presence of the rain and the presence of the sunshine, and then it doesn't matter if it rains or the sun shines. You're beyond happy. That's what we call transcendent. You're transcendent to the state of the weather. Why can you not be transcendent to yourself? Why does one feel spiritually that the only way to attain a good state is to stop all these things, is to be into a state where they don't happen? If you talk to anybody that has attained to a high, permanent spiritual state, they will tell you that you're not going to get there, that your inner being has its nature also. The key is that you not be it, not that you make it be something that it's not. You can be at peace when you're nervous. You can feel completely centered and serene when your heart is absolutely going crazy trying to reach out towards somebody else, and your mind is sitting there acting like a 5-year-old trying to figure out what to say and what to do and all that's going on, yet deep inside you're just smiling. You've seen that before. You've noticed that state. So you don't act on it. If you don't act on it over time, it will pass. Period. And the act of letting it pass is the act of transmutation. People think that when they get into these deeper yogas, where you want to learn to transmute your energies, that all sounds like something you do in meditation or you do through pranayama or some forced practices. That's not where it is. If you are able to let these energies come up in you, which energies? Anger, fear, attraction, repulsion, every single energy that comes up naturally inside of you is an expression of the Shakti being colored by your samskaras, being colored by the karmic patterns, the impressions that are left inside of you. The Shakti is the water. When she's completely free and clear, she goes into ecstasy as she flows through you, and you go into the great states. This is the transcendence. This is the ascent. If on her flow upward she hits the rocks in the stream, which are the things you stored from the past, as she flows past them, she will create eddies and rapids and disturbances in the water flow. You feel those as nervousness, anxiety, fear, attraction, repulsion. There's millions and myriad things that you feel. That's an experience of a disturbance in the force. That's what those things are. When you feel peace, serenity, openness, clarity, oneness, This is when the force is flowing freely without hitting. It manages to find its way around your samskaras. It's not going to stay that way until you're enlightened, until you're completely finished. You could be in a state of real highness and somebody could burp, or somebody could look at you, or somebody could not look at you. And all of a sudden, because of the magnetism between the outside world and your samskaras, this activates a samskara, just a glance of somebody, and your heart freaks out. So basically, when things happen outside that are connected to these stored samskaras, impressions that are left in you, they activate the samskaras. They come forward. When they come forward, the energy, the Shakti hits them. When the Shakti hits them, it shoots out and you feel it as a reaction. And this normally causes you to open your mouth, causes you to run towards something or run away from something. You are in a state of reaction. You became a machine. I look at it like you put a blender on the table and it's spinning. If I sit there and mess the energy flow, the electricity that's going to the blender, if I speed it up or slow it down, the blender goes berserk. It acts really weird. The same thing happens with your appliance. If the energy becomes disturbed as it flows past your samskaras, you're getting nervous. Ooh, it's neat. All right? All this stuff shoots inside of you, and most people cannot handle that. When the energy hits something inside and shoots out, they start talking. They start getting weird. You ever sit there and have a conversation with somebody, and it's all going fine, and all of a sudden you say something, or you don't say something, and like there's this total transformation on the other side of the room. They just tighten up and they get weird and they start saying, and sometimes they'll even start to say, "You're just like my mother. You're talking just like, you sound just like my mother." How do I sound like your mother? I'm a man. How could I sound like your mother? I never met your mother. I don't understand. In other words, something you said it stimulated a samskara. And this thing comes forward, and now all the energy hits inside, and you see their whole face. It either turns red or white. The Shakti can cause either to happen. You're sitting there talking to somebody, they become as white as a ghost. What is that? That the Shakti got blocked by this samskara, and the energy is not able to flow into your face. Or they start to get red as a beet. What is that like? Well, the Shakti hits something, and it's shooting out in reaction, but we're trying to control it. All right, and it's like trying to hold the energy down. So either the energy, it's so beautiful. How do people live in this and not even understand about the appliance that they are living in every moment of their life, every person they're interacting with, everything they're doing? It explains every single thing that ever happened in your whole life, why you did everything, why everybody does everything, and nobody knows anything about it. It's the funniest thing in the world. But when you become conscious, you can't help but know about it. You notice these energy changes. That's what meditation's about. It's not about not having them happen. You don't judge yourself. You don't set some goal somewheres and then end up making a mess out of yourself by feeling guilty or getting down on yourself or thinking you're not spiritual. There is no spiritual or not spiritual. The self is already fully enlightened. It is fully conscious. So if you're just willing to watch, that's the challenge. Are you willing to ride the wave? The energy comes up. You don't know where it's going. It hits something. It doesn't hit something. It shoots. Everything changes inside of you. Are you capable of letting that happen without doing anything about it? Because if you are, you will come to know the next level of your being. The energies will come up. You will feel all this impulse and urge to either run toward or run away. And if you don't do anything, the most phenomenal thing happens. The energy itself, it comes up and somehow it gets closer to you. And it's scary. You understand that? So people don't want to do it. They want to let this energy go. They want to dump it on somebody else. They want to run away. No. The yogi is the one who sits there in the midst of the changes of the energies that are happening inside of them. You can sit through anything. Don't you dare make a wuss of yourself. You don't have to do anything. You just sit there. Somebody says something that hurts you, and their whole heart feels like everything dropped. Ever feel that? It feels like everything, somehow, the building foundation fell out from under your heart. It goes, you can actually lose your breath just because somebody walked away with somebody else instead of you. It goes, like that. It goes, well, that's neat. It's kind of like flying a plane when you hit an air pocket. Kind of drops. Can you experience that and just see it for what it is? A change in the energy flow. A change in the force. If you sit there and everyone is capable, they come and they say, well, I can't handle that. You can handle anything. All you have to do is be resolved that I am going to watch these changes in my energy. They are free to do what they want. That's the deepest yoga we're talking about. Not, I will never feel this again. I don't want to feel this. This is not right. This is wrong. Jealousy is wrong, and I don't want to feel any jealousy, and I shouldn't be feeling jealousy. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I mean, I've been meditating so long. How come I'm still feeling jealous? I don't want to tell it. And ooh, now you have guilt on top of your jealousy. How did that do anything? It doesn't solve anything. You didn't resolve a single thing. If you are willing to let jealousy come when it must and go when it will, and you are completely resolved to do nothing about it, not go out there and look to see if it's worth getting jealous and really is somebody doing something wrong and look through their things and talk to people, did you see her or where did she go? No. Then you're feeding the jealousy and not, like I said, suppress it and make believe it's not happening and not like it. You just welcome it completely. I haven't seen you for a while. I thought you were gone. I just got through telling everybody I never feel jealousy ever again. Yeah, I was wrong. Welcome. You're welcome in here. You want to come through here? Door's open. I have fun watching whatever needs to come. It's God's creation. Come what will. Jealousy, fear, drives, anger, attraction, repulsion. You're sitting there, you're married, you get attracted to somebody else. So? What are you going to say? I didn't? What are you going to say? I shouldn't? Go on, make a mess. Have fun. What is wrong with just noticing? Don't do anything because you haven't caught on yet. It's going to make a mess. Every energy that comes up inside of you that is disturbed will cause disturbance outside of you if you express it. Every energy that comes up inside of you that's disturbed will cause disturbance inside of you if you suppress it. If you got that down, it's just expressing disturbance. Expressing disturbance creates disturbance. Suppressing disturbance creates disturbance. What's the option? The energy came up, there's nothing I can do about it. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It comes up inside of everybody. But if you express it, that's a lack of center. It's a lack of awareness. You let it take over you. And you will see over time it creates disturbance. I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules. It's just, you throw a rock in the water, it starts rippling. Is there some way to throw it in without ripples? No. All right? So expression creates disturbance outside. Suppression creates disturbance inside. What is the choice? The choice is yoga. The choice is you watch without touching. So up it comes, you breathe. To learn to breathe. The main thing is stop telling yourself that you're not capable of doing this. Stop telling yourself that this is too strong for you and you're not ready yet. And I know I can't handle this. Because then you can't. You just resolve. You sit down and resolve. There's not a single energy that will come up inside of me that I will not let pass through me. It is welcome within, but it is going to come right in and it's going to go right through. And I'm going to stay conscious and breathe and relax. The key is to relax. When the energies try to make you tense and then they force you to express, if you can relax your heart and relax your shoulders in the face of the strongest energy that can come up inside of you, you are ready to ride the wave. And that is what it feels like. Once the wave crests, most people have no idea what it's like for that wave to crest because they deal with it way down low when it's just starting to form. If you let it come up, it actually builds and it becomes a tremendous force inside of you. And eventually you will see that every energy inside of you is the same. Once it comes up close enough, it's just energy. It's just this tremendous power. And when it breaks, when it crests, it takes you to a very high state. And that is what transmutation is. When it starts as anger and it ends up as love. When it starts as jealousy and it ends up as a freedom, a breakthrough, just because you let it pass through you. So people waste these energies by fighting with them, expressing them, doing things. It's about non-doership. You think it's hard to do. What people can't do is not do. Right? Is to just be. This is the definition of being. That any energy can come up inside of you and you breathe your way through it. This is spirituality. So where is the need for a myriad teachings? Where is the need for a million techniques? Where is the need for volumes and volumes of books and philosophies and so on? Either you can or you cannot sit inside of you when this Shakti is coming up. If you cannot, it's because you decided you didn't want to. You can handle anything. And yoga says not only can you handle it, you can use it to go to God. And when you let these energies come up inside of you and sweep you away inside, then you are using it for the highest evolutionary force, which is what it's meant for. So nothing is right or wrong, nothing is good or bad, nothing is spiritual or non-spiritual. It is all a question of the self. If you can remain the witness, remain conscious, remain non-reactive, remain relaxed, these energies will take you beautiful places, and every day of your life, every minute will be the most exciting journey. You'll never need a vacation, nothing, because you have this Disney World going on inside of you that is like, wow, what a ride. It's like a sport. And they called God's sport the Leela. This is your sport. Get good at it. So work on these things and see how much fun life can be. Jai Gurudev.